Race number 8 of the season here at Rockingham, the second of our 3 legs. And PALracing, the pace truck is going to pull off. Pop-Tart Pete leading by 23 points. Stephen James looking for his first win. Ladies and gentlemen, the Madewell Vintage 188 throwback race from Rockingham is underway. And as the field come across the front stretch to complete lap number 1, Pete Tart leads. Douglas Henry, the winner of this race, won a season ago. Its inaugural trip to Rockingham for PALracing, picked up the win and then the championship. 5-time race winner. This is one of his most memorable. And now he begins to get to the rear bumper of Pete Tart, looking for the lead, looking to the inside. Here they go into turn 1. Blink out there. Now we're back. Douglas Henry takes the lead over Pop-Tart Pete. He'll blink out again. So we talked about the paint scheme competition, and there are so many great throwback schemes in here as you watch them run by. A lot of uniqueness, but the winner of the Madewell Vintage throwback scheme competition goes to the 31 of Jacob Alicia, a beautiful Juan Pablo Montoya throwback scheme. Juan Pablo Montoya ran the Big Red scheme, and Jacob, man, picking it up where he left off. Of course, Jacob runs Big Red on his car. So the Season 2 champ looking fresh out here. And that 31, and I do think it deserved the win. By far the best looking throwback scheme in the field. Pretty unanimous. We begin to clock lap 11, finish lap number 10. And Douglas Henry and that Tony Stewart throwback scheme, with Eckhart Coffee on the hood, is trying to outrun the other famous sponsor in PALracing with the Madewell Vintage, Kyle Busch scheme. Jared was shown, throwing back to Greg Biffle. We talked about Legat, Joe Houston, throwing back to Alan Kulicki's Hooters car. The Eckhart Coffee Roasters, white and orange machine. I love the look of that. Aiden Gould, another Kyle Busch throwback scheme for him. He's going to be the double mint. Ronnie Lane, still his old Nesquik machine. Mike Casey in the 10th spot. A beautiful throwback of Bobby Allison. Talked about Jacob Alicia, Jacob Blakely. Not exactly sure who's throwing it back to. I can't name it off the top of my head, but I love the look of that car. Spencer Burton throwing it back to himself. Gordon Spain throwing it back to his old White Monster car. I believe he runs a Spain Tire Center car now, if I'm not mistaken. Brandon Meyer throwing it back to that famous 3 7-time champions. Supposed to be a blend of Jimmy Johnson, Dale Earnhardt, and Richard Petty. Raymond Wimmer, of course, nicknamed the Buckshot, running a Buckshot Jones tribute scheme. I love the look of that car. Jacob Pettit, no throwback scheme for him. Aaron Warren running a Dale Earnhardt throwback scheme. Got the gold and the black. Gary Smoke, no throwback scheme for him. And then Robert Blakely, Jacob Blakely's cousin, no throwback scheme. Oh, actually, could that potentially be a Mountain Dew Amp Dr. Squatch throwback? It kind of fits. Maybe that's what it is. Ethan Walker throwing it back to Jeff Gordon. Star Wars. And Ricky Wentworth has had to call it a night. Not sure what happened to Ricky. He's out of the race. Well, those were your 22 cars to start tonight's event. Pop-Tart Pete got back around Douglas Henry during that segment. But now he's to the rear. Douglas Henry looking to battle Pete Tart for the lead late in this run. And we have a yellow just in front. It was Jacob Alicia. We were ready for that battle to heat up, and it looks like Alicia may have had some help according to the incident report sheet. Let's take a look at the replay. Jacob Alicia. There's some cars in front of him. Oh, uh-oh, what happens here? Spencer Burton misses pit road entry and left hooks Jacob Alicia. Can you believe that? What happened from POV of Spencer Burton? I mean, how do you misjudge this one? Locking it down, locks it up, and just up into Alicia. Holy cow. Green flag is up, green flag is out. We're going to return racing here at Rockingham. This time, Douglas Henry will lead him. Jared was shown. Won last week. Can he go back-to-back and do what nobody's done before? He has to battle Pete Tart, but Douglas Henry is checked out. Here goes Matthew Legatt, Stephen James side by side with Joe Houston. And I gotta believe it's a battle just to get to the bottom side of the racetrack and start saving tire. And Douglas Henry trying to run away with it. Pete Tart is drawn to the rear bumper of Douglas Henry. And here comes Matthew Legatt. He's going to look underneath Pete Tart. Kind of an out-of-nowhere run, but he's making it work. Pete Tart has him on exit. What about entry into turn 3? Here comes Legatt side by side for the second spot. And Matthew Legatt will take away P2. Pete Tart says, I'll hold back here and save a little. Down the back straightaway, Pop-Tart Pete looks for the pass on Legatt. Matt will let him take it. Pete Tart now back into the second position. The question is Matthew going to begin to fall back, or is he just letting Pete by? Turn 1, Doug has kind of adopted that Pete Tart line, letting it run up. Late apex, coming through turn 2. Yellow flag is out. And I believe it's for Jacob Blakely in the 36. We saw something coming potentially. And Jacob Blakely has found himself around. Let's take a look at the replay. So Jacob Blakely behind Mike Hasty. Oh, he gets into his rear bumper and it causes the 36 to spin. Mike Hasty into the wall. Gordon Spain will finish off Jacob Blakely. Blakely was coming in really hot there. Just not ready for Mike to want to lift that early. That sucks for Mike Hasty. Oh, that's terrible. And it's going to be old tires versus new. Jared was shown. Joe Houston, Lane Myers. Do they have the winning strategy or should they have pitted? We're back racing at Rockingham. And the fresh tires, they are going to fight each other to get to the front. Pete Tart on the outside. He's going to try to be a rocket on rails. There goes Lane Myers to the top on old tires. Here comes Douglas Henry with Matthew Legatt all over his bumper. Right now, Doug, first car on fresh tires. Pete Tart to the outside. Here comes Matthew Legatt. And I bet they'd put it 3 wide if they could. Legatt inside of Pete Tart. He'll grab that position. That's third. And now Jared was shown. Sees a little hungry hippos behind him. And Douglas Henry will be the first to roll the outside. Here comes Matthew Legatt. And a fuster cluck as they head down the front straightaway. Fresh tires trying to get around. Jared was shown playing out his own strategy. They'll get by. Jared obviously knows that he's in it for the long haul. He's got to hope for a caution late in the race to be sitting the prettiest for this to work out. Reminder, we will pit again no matter what for fuel. Matthew Legatt, Douglas Henry, Pete Tart, Gordon Spain, Jacob Blakely, Mike Casey, all those guys will pit and take their final set of tires. What Jared was shown, Joe Houston, Lane Myers are hoping for as they get around lap car Stephen James, who might have had issues on the restart. They're hoping that a yellow comes out after that pit stop. So within the last 40 laps of the race, they're hoping that they can hit pit road and grab that extra set of tires for the last run. Gordon Spain begins to fall off as Pete Tart picks it up to apply pressure on Douglas Henry. Doug gets a really good run on exit. Can he do something about it? Matt blocks him all the way to the bottom. There's even contact into the corner. Doug ships it in. Can he drive it back down? Matt's on the inside. Doug will have the top line. Matt knows how important it is to have track position and on what feels like a single line racetrack. Now Doug up top, and Matthew Leggett just barely re-clears him. What a battle that was. And I'm sure Doug's not happy about that blocking. If he gets another run again, he's not going to be so nice. Not that he was being nice that time. Great bumper tag. But he might ship him a little bit because Doug has to watch out. Pete Tart's right there, and every time Doug does a move like that, him and Matt wear out their tires a little bit more than Pop-Tart Pete. Oh, Jared was shown heavy contact into the fence. I wonder if that created some damage on the 017. Meanwhile, battle for the lead. Leggett just got sent on by Douglas Henry. Doug up the inside, threw it in there. Matt all the way up out of the groove. Here comes Pete Tart. Matt will look to the inside to block Douglas Henry. Pete Tart right there in the mix. Now he's to the outside of the 66. Stephen James 2 laps down. He's just kind of watching this battle right now. I'd stay back a little bit if I were you and not try to go for a lap back. Now that Pete can rotate around the outside of Doug, I think he's going to be a little bit more fair on exit and get a better run, whereas Matt can get away from it again. Joe will hurt the exit for Leggett, which means Doug can pull up nearly alongside him, and Doug will go for it again. This time he has the top line. Can he run Matt low and tight? Pete Tart's right there. Douglas Henry leads at the stripe. And we are so close to pit stops, guys. They're giving it everything they can with these tires. Get what you can out of them. A little bit of contact on exit. Doug, it looks like he might officially clear into the lead. Yes, he will. And now Matthew Leggett has to worry about Pete Tart. But man, Doug was working hard on that one. And he finally succeeds. Matthew Leggett has decided to hit pit road and be the first of that trio of leaders to do so. So does that get Pete Tart and Douglas Henry to come rolling down? Right now they'll have 1 lap fresher tires. Doug stays out. How about Pete Tart? Same thing for him. So they'll be on 2 lap fresher tires now. But Matt has more time to drive around the track at a faster pace. That's the yin and yang you got to play with these strategies. When will Doug hit pit road? He's waited too long before this season, and it bit him in the butt at Pocono and gave Jacob Alicia the win. Surely he's thinking about that. And now Pete Tart will hit pit road. That'll leave Doug out front. The freshest set of tires closest to the front. Him and Pete Tart are going to battle it out. And now Douglas Henry has decided to hit pit road. But is it too late? He wanted to have some bonus laps for tires. He wanted to have fresher tires than Pete Tart, but did he wait too long? Gordon Spain will drive around him. Gordon Spain stayed out longer than Doug. Remember, Gordon Spain pit on lap 90 with that trio. Those guys are going to get their laps back, and Douglas Henry is still going to be rolling on pit road by the time they come around. So there's Douglas Henry. And we're going to wait here for Pete Tart. There goes Pete Tart and Matthew Leggett. And they will fly by, so that's quite a bit of ground for Doug to make up. Can he do it on fresher tire? Leggett will go to the bottom, take away that line. Pete looked to the outside, cuts back down late. What kind of run does he have on the back straightaway? He's there. Leggett goes all the way to the bottom to defend. Pete on the outside. They enter pretty even. It's a good lunge out of Pete. Matt runs him up out of the groove and gets the spot back using the door. Matt doing everything he can to become a 2-time points race winner. Pete Tart builds a good run, puts the bumper to the back of Matthew Leggett. He'll move him out of the groove. Now, will Matt respawned with a chrome horn of his own into turn 1. I think it might be on this time. Matt looks to the inside, and he'll ship it up into the door of the 54. On corner exit, Matthew Legat uses what Douglas Henry did to him a season ago to get the lead back. Doug saw that all as he's now within a second of the pair. That was some driving, and I think Pete Tart had to expect that out of one of the most aggressive drivers, Matthew Legat. The cars are plowing tight. You gotta save tire like a maniac. But we got a 3-car battle for the win. Pete Tart to the rear bumper of Matthew Legat. Both will go by. Legat into the fence. And now Douglas Henry gets a free spot for second. Can he get to Pop-Tart Pete? At the flag stand, 18 laps to go. And the Madewell Vintage 188, Douglas Henry. Can he go back-to-back for the Madewell throwback races? Douglas Henry, he's going to try to use his swing line. Pete is making it work. There's only so much that Doug can do while driving the wake, but Pete Tart gets into the fence, and it opens the door for Douglas Henry, and now we're side by side. Douglas Henry, can he clear? Yes, he will! Douglas Henry clears into the lead here at Rockingham. Wow, can you believe it? Pete Tart brushes the wall trying to be aggro on corner exit, and it will give Douglas Henry the lead. And now Doug is praying what all of you were probably hoping for, unless you're a Douglas Henry fan, is for a caution to not come out. You guys want it. He doesn't. Caution comes out. What does that do? Jared was shown, who is the only car on the lead lap on that alternate strategy, will be able to put fresh tires on. And it looks like he'll sweep it again. Looking for his first win, your defending series champion. Hayden Eckhart put on a Cotopaxi down there in victory lane because we're going to get rowdy tonight. How about this? Douglas Henry will pick up his first win in 2026. Douglas Henry will win at Rock.
Let's go!
Good job, Doug.
Oh.
Way to go,
Championship slump. Who? Hell yeah.
Douglas Henry, we got her done.
We got it done. Paved, unpaved at the Rock, it don't matter. We can do it.
Yeah, from the old surface to the new surface, what has been the biggest hurdle that you had to overcome here in this race from last season?
Man, just the sheer aggressiveness of guys like Pete and Matt and the lap cars. I mean, the setup was wrong for this race. The car was so tight, so you just had to baby it. And, I mean, we got it done. This is badass.
Well, we talked, I mean, you said at the end there, oh, championship slump who? I know you've been fighting hard to have the pace to beat Pete Tart at a track like this, getting it done. You know, you stay out a few extra laps, you have the fresh tires, you run them down. And where does this win rank on your all-time wins list, having to outrun guys like Pete Tart and Matthew Legat when both of them were on 100?
This may have been a little bit of a boring race to watch, I'm not sure, but this is number 2 for me, right behind that Charlotte race in season 2. This was a hard-fought, well-earned win. Shout out to Pete and Matt. Those guys were insane to battle with.
Well, Doug, one heck of a race. Everybody's rowdy down in the Henry town. I'm sure you're going to get a phone call from your dad anytime soon, but congratulations on the win. We're going to send you back, buddy. You got it. The only driver to have a Madewell Vintage trophy in the cabinet.
Hell yeah, thanks.